now with Robert Perlman, the CEO of CRU.
I would like to ask you, what have been the main challenges in organizing a high-level conference like this one?
Well, I wouldn't say they were challenges. I think that Chile was already a big producer of copper when we held our first conference, and it has grown ever since. It's become the largest producer of copper, if not the largest exporter of copper in the world, and the conference has grown as part of that. In the early days, there weren't as many producers. We didn't have panels as large as we have today. The conference itself was restricted to a couple of mornings. Now it's already full-day conferences for at least 2 days, with additional sessions before the conference starts, simply because of the scope of subjects for us to talk about has expanded enormously. So it's been totally natural for the conference to become more important, because in all the thinking about how to develop the conference, we were always certain that we wanted it to be very focused on the actual forces at work in the industry. So it was designed to be a conference for people who think about what has been laid behind the development of the industry, not just in Chile but globally, and what are the forces at work that will direct or influence the direction of the world copper industry as we look forward. And in the case of copper, the industry has had to adapt increasingly to many changes, not least the ones that we're now confronting in the whole context of ESG.
What are the main questions that are asked in order to organize the agenda for each year? Do you ask the industry, or do you only do it within the CRU team?
No, I think the agenda, in a sense, is a product of what's happening in the industry at any one time. It's not difficult. You just identify what are the major forces of changes at work, and what are the issues that the industry itself is talking about. So the purpose of the industry is also to give the opportunity for those who are concerned with managing or thinking about the future of the industry to come together and talk about these things.
Do you remember some years with more difficulty than others?
I think the main difference that distinguishes one year from another is the price high enough for people to do well, or is it low enough for people to become very grumpy and slightly despondent?
We were listening in the morning to Robert Perlman, always so interesting, suggesting that the conference should be held in Congo. What's your opinion about it?
Well, everything is possible. We have done a lot of work in Congo, but Congo is not, in terms of copper, of quite the same importance as Chile is, or as the South American region is. Perhaps in the future Congo will be a place for us to consider holding a conference. But I don't want you to think that this will be at the expense of Chile.
Yeah, that's right. And Peru also, no?
Increasingly, Peru and Chile together.
Yes, do you see it together, Peru with Chile?
I don't have to, you will know this as well as I do. I mean, Chile and Peru are now, as I said a moment ago, the powerhouses of the world copper industry, certainly on the production side.
Yes.
And so long as nothing totally unforeseen happens, the prospects look good.
How do you see the conference for next year, with the same trend as the current one? And how do you see it if 5 years from now?
Well, that's almost asking me the same question. How do I see the copper industry?
No, the copper, not the conference.
No, the
same.
copper industry
Yes.
and the copper conference will always reflect what the changes or questions or issues are in the copper industry in 5 years' time.
Do you see then a long life for the conference?
Why not? Perhaps as long a life as many copper mines have, which in some cases extend to more than 110 years.
What is your greatest personal satisfaction regarding the relevance that this conference has acquired of the work you have done?
I'm very pleased with the way it's developed and the interest that it creates, and the way it has increasingly acted as a venue for those who are operating, living, or acting in the industry by giving them a chance to discuss issues that they feel are important to them.
Do you see that the conference sets the trend of what the industry will be throughout the year?
Well, I think now does it indicate? Do the speeches and the sessions that we have indicate where the industry is going? Is that what you're? Yes, because it will always reflect that. It's a bit like a thermometer. The thermometer is not the cause of the disease. It merely tells you whether you have a temperature or you don't. The same thing with the conference. The conference registers what are the issues that are of importance to people who live and have to operate in the industry.
Okay, a last message for the Peruvian copper industry and Peruvian miners?
Well, miners, and what about the local people? I mean, I just wish you all the very best, and I hope that the copper industry will play an increasingly viable and important part in the economy and for the country as a whole, and will contribute to the growth and continued growth and development of the nation.
Okay, so thank you very much.
Good.